Yeah, good to go. Yeah, so after the class, there's going to be an assignment on HTML. Yeah, and I'm going to have to submit before Saturday. That means I have approximately, let's say, roughly 72 hours to work on it. It won't be so complicated, so chill out to be very, very easy. Yeah, so today let's just upright in. You guys have a VS Code. Let's open up our full VS Code. Yeah, then you can open your folder, whichever name you give it. So, but for me, I'll be creating a new folder.
Please, can you share your screen?
Yes, I will plan anything on doing that right now. And then, can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and it's clear.
Yes. Yes.
Oh wow! On my end, yeah, it's blinking somehow.
The background is fluctuating.
Oh, okay. Can also see the quantity background total something else. Maybe I'll just give it the time to like load. Is this still fluctuating?
No, it's fine now.
Okay.
Hey, my mommy, oh, what did they do?
Looks like someone is in trouble. What's that?
I was actually checking some.
Okay, so just like we did it last week, I'll be creating a new file. And oh, which one today? Laptop is just so slow today. Oh, everybody know I did up to this place, right? Hello.
Sorry, what did you say?
I hope everybody understands what I did up to this point. I'm creating the new file, calling up the type. Okay. So let's change this to two. Yeah. I think you can see my thing better now. Oh man. Let's see how long the light is. And yeah, so today I just want to get into form inputs. So I would like okay, so yeah, so now this is the Unilag login dashboard. I'm sure majority of us should be familiar with it. That's in an accident. Am I correct? And anyone?
Yes, yes.
Exactly. So now form in JavaScript is basically, let's say, like it's a self-explanatory form. That means collecting input. So let's say you want to like fill in data, you want to collect data from your user, you want to collect their username, like in this case, matric number. But let's say you want to collect other things. Let's say you want to collect a message, you want to collect different things. So in HTML, you have to create a form input. And so with form, that is how you like collect data from people. So as you can see now, this Unilag dashboard is collecting matric number, and then it's collecting password. So now, to create a form input in HTML, we'll say, let's create like a div first, like out it, then input. Once you type input, there are like a lot of options here because there are like a lot of different form input. If you the default input type is text, and so if you run your live server, that's good. Like those that live server, or those that your live server is not working, you can just go and then click on the file itself. So you can see by default I have this input. Sorry, are you guys following, please?
Yes, sir, we are with you, sir.
Okay, so has everybody been able to create the inputs?
Please, can you go back? I don't understand.
Okay,
I actually wanted
so
to
to
be able to
create,
finish what you were saying before I ask you a question about what is this div of a thing.
what is what?
Like I don't think you explained div just like the last
The
class.
oh,
Yeah.
oh, okay, I'm so sorry about that. So now let me go back. Yeah, so you remember I said in HTML, if there's wrap, you have to wrap, you have to enclose. So I guess I said that last week. Anyone? So please just give me a response. Yes, no, yes, no.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So now, a div is a tag that used to like wrap over other things, more like a building block. So now let's say you are writing a note now, or you are drawing a table, and then you know the way our normal table is, the way they usually you say it's differentiate between use in tabular form, differentiate between this and this, and then when you draw your table, you put on the left side similarities, you put on the right side the similarity or whatever you have written. And so a div works that way. So just say a div as a block that section things. So now the div now is more like the section between both sides. So if our div is like a table now, we have something like the similarities now, that's one div, similarities another div. So a div is a block element. That means whenever you do div, whatever you put inside, like the next thing comes the next time. What I said about block element and the inline element, block elements, it creates a new line, inline elements, they don't. So it's more like a straight line, but then block elements are creating a new thing. So that's how we do work. Now, majority of the time, developers, whenever we are building things, we have to like section things, because if I just put this input like this, I put this input like this, and then I put like, let's say a button of hello. If I check my live server now, you see this, the button is came like side at the right hand side. Well, now there will be times when you don't want something like this. Or let's say you have different types of text and then you want to like section them differently. Sometimes you don't want things like this like flow on the right side. So what you do is create a div. Since the div is a block element, put it to the left side, put everything on a new line. You say inside the body now. Once I create the div and I put this inside the div, and then I create a button, create another div. Can you use what? Someone said, can I use something? Okay, let's go. If you look at my output now, you can see the button is on another line. That's because automatically now this is one section, then this is another section. So now, aside this div, there are other things that works like a div. So we also have something like section. This, would I say a section is another div, but just with a different name. So now with sections, now you can say, okay, you want to build something, and then you want like different sections, different things. So with a section, you like specify. Aside section, there's another one called main. There's also okay. Before, please go on.
Okay, so sorry. The old thing is getting somehow to me. You know you said div is like is used to like section things. So now how do I know the difference when I want to use div or when I want to use section? Like is there like a different like that will make me know that okay I should use section instead of div.
Yeah.
Get my question?
So that's very I get the question. That's a very good question. So when I started as a developer, every video that I watched to learn, to always say, don't create a div soup, don't create a div soup. So a div soup is basically having multiple divs in divs, and inside that div, another div, another div, another div. And so let's say as you keep getting better, as you keep coding, you now start seeing there are like conventions in coding, whereby you have to like follow some principles. Not that if you don't follow them, anything bad is going to happen. Not that if you follow them, anything good is going to happen. It's basically not, I would say it doesn't affect your code, but then it's just the right thing to do. Yeah, something like that. It's just like the right thing to do. So you know, okay, whenever another developer is coming to your code, and that developer can read your code easily. So like, let me see if I can, let me open a web page. What can I use now? Okay, let us see. Only I'm just out of I'm thinking of like using one of the project. Let me just look for one of my project. Okay, yeah. So you can see this website now. So now we have different things like that. You have like different sections. You can see this is what they call hero section, like the hero part. Then you can say this one's like sub-hero section or something. Then this one is like about some part showing some wrongs. And then we have this feedback. And then we have what we offer. So now all this now we can build them with a div. But let's now say you want people to, like, when the developers come into your code and to read the code, when they see GIF everywhere, they get confused. They don't know which part is which part. So now for something like this now, you now use like section. Use section to like break it out. So now this huge part now that is the hero section, I can put this in one section. I'll put this other part in another section. Then this apartment room is another section. Then this API client is another section. So now inside the section now, let's say inside this particular section now, you say we have like 3 boxes here. So now I can't like use I can't use section again inside. Now I now have to like use something like div. So I can now use this and say, okay, this is one div, this is another div, this is another div. So what I did over here now is now something like, let's say, clean everything out. For something like that, now I have like one section. Then inside this section, I have the first div. Then inside this one, another div. Then inside this. So do you understand something?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Yes.
So now
Yes.
to make it sweeter, why don't we try and, let's say, clone the HTML part of one of those pages there? And just for one of the sections there, so we can like build it with HTML. That's cool, right?
Yes.
Which one? Make it for something quite easy. Okay, yeah. So now you see this page now. I taught everyone about H1 tags, H2 tags, right?
Did. Yes.
Yes. So now we'll be building this page, but forget, we won't be building the CSS. I won't be, let's say the images won't be there, but we can add image for no image. Just be, let's just say this part, then this content that will be there. So now you can see now this is like latest news from our blog. This is the section now. So I have to create this now. I'm going to have this section. Now you see that now this part now. This is like one part. Then this part is like another part. Because if you look at it now, there are like 2 things here. There are like 2 different sections here. There is one section that's holding this latest news from our blog, the news and blog underneath. And then there's another like section that is holding this whole div, that's holding these 3 containers. So now I can call it the section again because I already have like the main section. So this is very different. And I'm pricing div. So now I have like the first div. I hope you guys are following me.
Yes.
Yes.
Inside my first div now, that's like these first parts. What do we have now? We have like a very big thing there saying, a very big text saying latest news from our blog. So now this is what tag I'm going to give this now. Anyone?
H1.
H1, exactly.
Which one?
H1, because that's like the largest text there. So you can say H1 latest news from our blog. But if you check your live server, you see, I already have latest news from our blog. Like I told you, we won't be styling it. Let's say when we start using CSS, so maybe we'll be like doing something like this, things like this. I'll just bring up project and then we code along and then make something similar to that project. Yeah, so we won't be having something similar too, but then we just have like the skeleton. Now, like I said, HTML is like a skeleton. So we just have like the skeleton of that particular page. So we have latest news from our blog. That's this part. So now the next thing that I want to build now is news and blog. So now what tag are we not going to use for this now? If you look at the size, you can use any tag that is not H1, but let's say you want to use H3. Then you can say news and blog.
H4
Now
or H5. H4 or H5. I'm not sure.
I think yours network is like lacking behind. So as we have latest news, we have news and blog. So over here we have latest news, we have news and blog. So if you guys notice now, that top part now, I added it in like this div. So now the second part now. Now we're looking at the second container. You know that's like we have done the first container now. Yes? Okay, yeah. So now let's now look at our second container now. So I see now this second container now is holding like 3 boxes inside. So what we do now is create a div. Now this div is what's holding everything. And now inside this div now, we have how many containers? 3 containers. So we have div. Let's just put 1 inside. Then we have div. Let's put 2 inside. Then we have div and 3 inside. But do you guys understand what's happening here?
Yes.
Can I hear another yes?
Yes.
Because you know the way it was, we have 2 containers. This is the first container, and then this is the second container. So now inside the first container now we have work hard, pretty hard in a luxury chalet in the Alps. So it won't be like writing something this long. Let's just say welcome. We write it like welcome to our world. Inside the now have something like H2 tag, because that's a very big tag. And then we say welcome. So the second one we can say another H2 tag. Welcome home. And then the last one can say another H2 tag. This is my palace. Now if you check live server, we have something like this. So now, because of I've not added CSS yet, so you can't like see it being sectioned or anything. But like, you guys understand now that we have this whole thing now. Everything here now is like a whole section, and then inside the section we have 2 containers. One container is reading latest news from our blog, news and blog, and then another container is reading welcome to our world, welcome home, and this is my palace. So now this second container now we can also the second container is now holding like 3 boxes inside. One box is holding welcome to our world, another box is holding. So you understand how CSS, SSS, how section and other div blocks work. So we have section, we have div. So now on the part of main and article, now I also talk about main and talk about article. So let me open up. Let's go back to that same page, and then okay, I did the blog section. Okay, the blog section is going into. I thought we blog to this page here. Okay. So let me get one of the. Okay, there you go. Okay, so now over here now you can see now that we have something like a blog page here now. Something like a blog page here now. Most of the time in say other blogs, you see things like section to the right. There's this thing like let's say like scroll bar here. I think I have it in somewhere around here. I'm trying to look for something that I have like that article bar. So I'm going give me a minute, please. Let me find something I can like explain it very, very well. But then I hope everybody was able to like follow up to this point. Hope everybody has
Yes.
something similar to this.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Yes. Okay, yeah. So now this is another blog section. And then if you can see now, this place is like sectioned into two. There's the right part and then there's the left part. The left part is already something like categories, something like this. And then the right part is already like things about the blog and everything. Can you see this place?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yes,
So
sir.
now this is where the article blog and then the main blog comes in. So now the article and then the main blog are mostly used for when you're writing blogs. That's the blog, article and main blog. So now over here now this is like you can use something like article to like hold everything that is it. As you can see, as I'm selecting it, everywhere on this right part is not being selected. That's because there are two blocks here, one to the left, one to the right. So you can use like article now to like section this out and then tell whoever's coming up that okay, this is one part that is holding like article details. And then this other part now this is like the main block. This part now is like the main block. So you can see I selected everything here and then still not affecting it. That's because this is another part. So now do you guys understand the article and main now? So they are basically, let's say, they're basically the same thing as the div. But then when it comes to convention, that's writing neat codes, writing codes that other developers can read. But there is one thing is for you to write like correct code. Another thing is for you to write reusable codes. So reusable codes means another developer can come, you can look at your code and then you can use it in other components. So now for you to be able to build something like that, you have to now know how to use other HTML tags and just creating a div. Because with all this now, everything I created here now, I can create everything with a div. So let me change my section now to div. My section to div. As you can see, I changed my section now to a div. And then if I go back, no difference. It is still the exact same thing. That's because a section and a div, they are the same thing. Section, div, article, main, they're all the same thing. But now for me now to now specify and make things simpler for both me and the other developers, and now start putting them in things in blocks, other like section, article, and main. Do you guys understand?
Yes. Yes.
Like
Yes.
two more. Okay, another one.
Yes, sir. We do.
Winifred and Taiwo. Do you guys understand?
I don't understand.
You don't understand Winifred.
Yes.
Which part, please?
Please, can you go back like when you left the page you left before? Yes, I think from here.
From here. Okay, so I changed, before this thing that's wrapping. The one thing about VS Code is VS Code can tell you the closing tag. Now, if you say I selected this part, it's telling me this is where the closing tag is at. So this
Yes.
thing now, it was a basin before a section. So I changed it from a section to a div. And then I'm still having the same results to tell you both section, both div, both article, both main, they are all like the same, they are one and the same. They are just the same block element. But the only thing now is with their names, you can now use them to specify and tell other developers that this is one section, this is an article part, this is a main part. And then, but then the easier thing to do is use div. A lot of people use divs a lot. If you look at other codes, there are some codes you open and then the little you see they are just divs. We just use div and create a div. So when I make things easy for both you and then other developers, and now start specifying them with div section. So do you understand?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay, yeah, thank you. So now I'm moving all this, and then I'm going back to impute that was teaching before. And thank you, Kofo, for like bringing my attention to that. I really appreciate it. Kind of. Okay. So now impute type text. So now accept text field. So now I have something like hey boy, but that's a text. That one impute type. So there's another one. You can say impute type You go down, you see hell. Yeah, search hell. Hell means the phone number. So now if I go back to that one, the second one, if I put this name down, it will work. Like if you put text, it will work. But now, let's now say I have like a normal form. Oh, sorry, what even start? When you're starting up, creating a form in HTML, you have to start with the, let's say, the block element. You know, I explained block element as div, section, article, main. So now forms also have their own called form. If you type form, this is the block element for all forms. So whichever form you're creating must be wrapped inside the form tag. But now, like I said before, it is not a must for now. For like, let's say, for good naming convention, you have to do it, one. And two, when you're, let's say, you're consuming an API. So basically, an API is, let's look at an API like a chain now, a chain that connects the back end and the front end together. That's what we call an API. So now, when you're using it to it's always very important for you to use these form tags because, as you can see, there's action inside. So inside this action, you have pass commands coming from the API. That command set every input inside the API. So now let's.
Like how you properly.
Yeah, so I guess that was, my phone was just popping. Yeah, Kofo, please go on. Yeah, Kofo.
So I just wanted to ask because you said you have to create a like form is like a block element when you want to
Yes.
like. So skip that. I wanted to ask now. You know you created a div first,
Yes.
then a form. So
The
since you
form,
said
yes.
it's supposed to be wrapped inside, I wanted to ask that is it advisable for me to first put the form so I know that okay I'm creating a form and I'll now use the div or it doesn't work that way?
Yeah, it works that way. So now the thing about having a div as a block element is divs work anywhere. So now let's now say I remove this div now. So now I can have a div. You can have a div inside the form to hold up your. So I don't know if you noticed before. My input, both of them are like on the same line. So if I go back now, you see that one is on top, another is underneath. The second has not. That's because now this one is inside the div, and div is a block element. Block element will always throw something like to the next line. Now it's advisable that when you have, let's say, you have a form that have multiple input tags, it's always advisable to use a div inside the form. So that way you can specify everything like to the next line, to the next line. So if I go back to this now,
Sorry. Can you say what you said back? From that it is advisable. My line was
it is
going off.
advisable, it is advisable for you to use a div inside the form. So you have to use a div to house each input element so that everything can come on the next line like this. Note that it doesn't affect your form, it doesn't add anything, doesn't deduct anything. But then the convention I was talking about, doing the right thing, writing correct. Let's remove this and then put this in your divs. I have my text and then I have my tag. So let's now add a button. You remember how to create a button with the then you say button. Inside the button, you have to add the name. So let's say this is a submit button. Is everyone be able to create something like this? What? I'm waiting. Taiwo, are you on your laptop?
Yes. You don't give us time to actually create. Yeah, those.
That's why I see. There's a like stop for now. Because I
No,
just
you don't.
remember that. Sorry.
You don't give us time. Like you're just like even if I try to like try what you have done here, I'll have to just stop so that I don't miss anything you are saying again.
Okay. Okay. I'm giving you guys time now to like create things.
Sorry,
Okay.
to create
No.
what? We should create this they are doing. Like we should
Yes, you create. It's not must to do exactly what I am doing.
we should
Just create
create a
your form. Yeah, you create your form. Then create an input tag inside the form, then you create the button. Before you done, show me more. I did that.
Hello.
You following?
For the action, I've missed a bit. So
Yes.
that action in that form, is that action needed?
Okay. Yes, action is needed for your form. So, like I
Okay.
said, you are communicating with Scarlett. You have to add your API link and there's some other things inside your action. So that way,
Okay.
whatever you type in the input, you can send it directly.
Okay. And that div, can you just explain about that div?
Okay. So, always drop anything to the next line. So block element means once you create one block, next thing that's coming from that block side. So if I create, sorry, but that was because of Solomon, I guess. Yeah, so it won't work anymore. So if I create, let's say, an input tag and I get another input tag, both of them will be on the same line. That means it will be like 1 and 1. But then if it's not inside a div, you have one here, you have one by the side. So a div will just make it like normal block as if you are dropping things. But then like like that. You understand?
Okay, yes. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Done. Koforola. Yeah, J-Ann. Good afternoon, but yeah, Kofo, I can hear you.
Okay, so I was able to create just the box. I wanted to ask that is it possible I just put something on top of the box? Like can I like when I create that div, can I just put like a paragraph that says name, then under it I put that input something that will it work that way?
Like okay, so now let us imitate doing a lab now. Let's go back to the now you can see over here now we have magic number, start application number, then we have my password here. So now there's also a password input tab. You can change this tell that is here, change it to password.
Please, I have a question.
You please shoot.
On your code here, I can't see a closing
Yes.
tag for the form element.
For the form.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome.
I guys won't see it clearly, so I think I forgot to do some.
Yes, it's not that clear.
I know one talk. This is better now, I guess.
Yeah, it's okay like this.
Oh yes,
It's okay.
it's better.
Better.
Expect from downstairs. What expect from downstairs?
Okay, now so now at the top now, let us add the tag that is saying matrix number. And at the top of this other one, let's add another tag. Let's password. And I guess that's one to submit. So now if you go back, Hope you guys are feeling something like this.
Hey.
Also, can anyone say this?
Yes.
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 Yeah, so my
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, password. So the password input hide whatever you are typing. So that way someone that's beside you cannot see what you're typing. Okay. So if I just click on submit, you see like a page is going to refresh and they can see like this. That's because of it is wrapped inside the form element. So if you don't put inside the form element and then you click submit, it won't load you to anything. So now I want to like show you guys what happens. Let's say this thing tell means I'm expecting a telephone number or something. And then if I go back, I can put something like a like click on submit. If you are using, let's say let's say if you're using a quiet tag, a quiet field, you have to add a quiet to it. It automatically tells the user that okay, either you can make the form blank or you have to take something wrong. So you can add something called required. So if you add required to your input tag, required makes sure that the user does not leave that particular part on the field. So see, I added required to my tell part. If I go back and click submit, please fill out this field. So this way, it doesn't make the user give you an empty response. Do you guys understand?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Roller.
Yes, I do.
I always love to hear this chorus yes, like a lot of people say yes. So I know that okay, I'm not talking to myself.
Yeah, with you, sir. With you, sir.
Yeah, with you.
Okay. Okay. Wisdom, yeah. Wisdom. Okay. So this without this page. Okay. Okay. So aside this normal input, let's now say you are expecting a message aside the password and the rest. So above my button, I want to create like a new div. And this time, since I'm expecting a message, if you look at your input tag, it's just not long enough. Like it's very short. Let's not say you want to complain about something. Not so long to compare. I like you can feel like everything is like moving inside and then moving inside and then moving inside. So something like this now is not going to be nice for receiving complaint. So then cannot do something like something called the text area. Text area is another form. Sorry, text area. Text area is the same as every other normal function, but it's different. Instead, this one will give just gives more linear repeater. Message. Go back now, you can tell we have something big. How does it come?
Okay, like we just see your comments, like that big box is used for your comments.
Exactly, something like comment. You know,
The
whenever you are
website.
like
Yes.
website, exactly.
Yes.
I don't know what's wrong, but it makes it that's not showing. So I guess that's the size of the text area. I don't know if it's asked another different message. That's the difference. There's a big difference and then there's another div inside to the message for the text area. Because I guess the text area is like big enough like cover up the p tag in front of it. So after I put the p tag in the block element to differentiate it from the text area. So now I have something like magic number, password, message. Another thing, now let's now say you have, sorry, are you guys following, please?
Yes, yeah.
Yes, we are
Yeah.
following.
Yes.
Okay. Let's now say sometimes now you go on the website, now they ask you to select an option. They tell you, okay, male or female, and then you can do that in, let's say, two different ways. There's something called a radio button. There's something called a select and this and select tag. Now let's just like go with the select tag first. So now above my button again, like let's move the button down a bit. So like over here, I'm creating another div tag, and inside this div, I'm not saying select. Select now is more like saying, okay, I want people to select one option out of multiple. So now after you say your select, the next thing you have to put inside the select, you have to now say options. What do you want the user to pick from? So you say option, say okay, the name, male, text, male, and another option. I go back to my website now. You see, I have something like this, a drop down. Yeah, she has something like this, a drop down. You can select between female and male. Female. Female. Anyone? What's the media, please?
We can see what you're doing.
Okay. Oh, can you see it
Can
on
see
your
it
own
too.
laptop? Can you see it on your laptop? That's the thing. Are you trying it over there? Is it working for you? That's what I'm saying. No.
Please, no. Can you go back to your VS Code? Sorry, I have a question before I try. Please.
Okay. Please go on.
Okay, now this part where there's value, what does that mean? And this,
Okay.
I just wanted to ask. This select as name and ID, and I've been noticing them, so I just want to know what it means.
Almost everything. I'll put it someone ask that question. I don't think you guys understand that. So that's why I just don't go in. They don't ask. That's what, thank you for the question. So I remember when I said something about API connecting the front and the backend together. Yeah. So now, whenever you're working with an API will not collect what is here, like this name tags that you're putting here. API collects is whatever you type inside. And then remember that whatever you type inside, let's say something like this now, as I type password, I type the message. By default, all these, they're all values. They're all values inside the tags. So this is what the API is collecting. So now whenever you type this now, by default, it's already a value of that particular tag. So like now this, let's say page there now is a value of this area. You get. So now what I typed in that password now is a value of password. So now whatever you select now is a value of this. So now by default, male should have like a value of male, female value of female. But all this now, there are not things related to something, they're all backend things. So let's now say you now want to submit. Once you click on submit to submit the form, what the form passes to the backend are the values, all these values. It's possible for your text area now to have a value. By default, it doesn't come out, but you can have a value for your text area. Then for your input password, you can have like a value for it also. For like your input or magic number, they can have a value also. But these are things that are related to the backend. So the value, the name tag, same as that also. The value and name, let's say they are almost similar. They work hand in hand. Value is going to pass the values. But now when let's say an API is coming, the backend developer creates an API. The API individually comes with a name. So now the name, you have to name your input tag the exact name that it is with the API. so that whenever you're sending your value can target the right, let's say the right endpoint. So if you, let's say that the backend developer names a particular input on the backend first name, on the front end, your name here must be first name. I want to click on submit now. What this thing is going to now, it's going to target first name. First name is going to target first name at the back end, and then it's going to fill in the value of your first name over there. So that's what this name is for. While this ID is for styling. When we get into CSS, we're going to talk more about ID classes. They're all for styling in CSS. So now one other thing that you can also add, remember I said adding required to input tag, make sure that the user cannot fill it. You cannot like submit the form when it is empty. So you must at least put in a data to fill it. Another thing you can add there now is now called placeholder. So like the name says, placeholder. Placeholder is like something that tells a user what that input is for. So now let's say matric number now. If you find you want to call it matric number, you can add something like matric number here as a placeholder. And then if you go back to your code, you see now there's something called matric number inside the input tag, and then you can type over it. Once you start typing, the placeholder is. But the placeholder is more like a directive telling the user what they're expecting there. Now let's now say here now you already specified matric number. In your placeholder, you can now tell the person that you can say, okay, I'm expecting matric number not less than 10 digits. Not less than 10 digits. So if you write something like this now, and then you go back, you check your placeholder, you're saying matric number not less than 10 digits. So placeholder, you can use placeholder to specify what you want, or you can use placeholder to like tell the user instructions to get. Sorry about that. So hope you guys understand the concept of placeholder, concept of required. Do you understand?
Yes.
I do.
Yes.
I can't see me, can't hear me. Can everyone hear me?
So it is
Yes.
a question.
Yes.
Yes.
Please, Taiwo, go on,
We
please.
can hear you.
Okay, Taiwo, please go on.
I have a
I'm not the one.
question.
Who has the question? If you have a question, raise your hand, please. So I can call you one after the other. Okay, qualified.
Yes. This input value, is it
Yes.
among the options when we type the input? Because I don't understand.
No, it's not. So once you create input, it doesn't come right back. So one thing you should know now is VS Code can't like give you everything. VS Code can't give you everything. It only just give you like the default. Because by default, okay, your input must not be typed by default. But it is with that type that you can specify what type of input it is. It is now up to you now to now start adding things like the value, things like required, things like the placeholder. Because these are
Okay.
optional. So VS Code will only give you the most important things. And sometimes they even give you just, let's say, suggestions. Okay, so Solomon, go on.
Why is there first name in the password?
Oh yeah, I
input?
just use that as an example. I use that as an example.
Okay.
So over here, since it is password, what the backend is doing sometimes password. Sometimes backward can have, I say backward. Backend can have something like password and then confirm password. So you can now have something like password. Then the next input you have now have a name of like confirm password.
Okay. So for that ID, what will be in ID?
The ID, like I said, the ID is
Yeah.
mostly used for styling. So the ID depends on
Styling.
whatever you want to name it. You can say password. You can say fresh boy. You can say
Okay, it can be anything.
hotkey.
You can
It
just
can be
type it.
anything. It's just more like
Okay.
it's a way of pointing to the it's a way of pointing to the CSS style sheet. That's okay. This is what I want to start.
Okay.
You get?
Okay, yes, thank you.
Yeah. Any other question? Okay, and Kofo, please go on. Kofo,
Okay, I want to do something. Can you try like do the input something again? I want to see like the way you did it, like from the input then to the like the way it goes. When you type the input, then you go to the I think value or something. I want to see the way you just do it.
okay. So let me create a new. Okay, report my div. Then let me have a part of first name. Input. One type since first name is the text. You guys know that. When I type input, and I'll go to text and then select text. So by default, input text name ID, all this will come outside. So now I can now specify required. That means you must put a first name. So I can say
So that
placeholder.
means by default, when you type that text, that means the name and ID is also going to come out, right?
Sorry, I did not get that.
Like that. You know,
The name and the
because I've
ID.
tried to like type that input. Then you explain to me that the input is not like.
Okay, I think the problem you're having there is when you type input, options
Yes,
usually
but it's
come
going to bring
outside.
out for
Yes, options come outside. So if you just select input on its own, the only thing you get is type of text. You don't get name, you don't get ID or
what do
value or
I
anything.
type?
So now if you're now that you now specify, so if I say input and then I want if it's a text, I can say okay, input of text. I get name and ID by default with it. But then like I said, these things are optional. So if let's say okay, what I'm collecting now is a number, not phone number, but then let's say normal number. Let's say you want to order a product now. Yeah, let's say you're on Jumia now, you want to order a product. And so you add it to your cart, like you add a shoe, a sneaker to your cart. And then your friend now tells you that, please, I want one. That means you have to order two of that sneaker. So you need like Jumia, what's there on Jumia is something like an input tag, or it is input of number, where you now change it to like you change the value from one, you change it to two. So if you say input and then you scroll down, there is number here. So input of number, if you check now this is the second input now. You see it comes with this thing here. That means you can go 1, 2, 3, or they go down to a negative value. But this is input of number. So now there's another one. There is input with email. So now this one I was expecting this input I was expecting you to have something like you must have something like at gmail.com at this.com. So like the text you can say input. That is input for let's say input for email. So there's also dates, input type dates. This one comes with like a calendar. If the input type dates, see like a calendar for it to select dates. There is date time, I guess. Yeah, there is date time. The input type date time. This one collects both dates and time. But then to give you the option to it's basically like something like let's say today is 25th, 04, 2022. And you have something like a space, nothing like 11, 6 p.m. So it's doing something like this. This time is doing something like this. There are like in fact, there are multiple types of input. It's now up to you to select this particular one you want. So does that answer your question? Let's check. See, now input of time now is expecting a time value. So Kofo, understood. Okay, Winifred, go on.
Yes, okay. I'm already confused though. This part where you wrote select and then option value. Actually, but I'm not seeing the options when I move to the browsing this thing.
That's because you wrote the name inside the value. In between the option, write it like this.
Okay.
Yes, so that should work. So now, if you can remember when I said something about select being one, another one now, which you can take the now say impute. For this time, let's put like a radio button. Let's say impute radio. So now, if you go back and check, you have something like this. So this time, when they now tell you something like, okay, select an option, and then just select. So you have like a radio button.
Okay.
Do you guys understand?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
2,
Yeah.
3, 4. More yeses, please.
Yes.
Yes.
5, 6,
Yes.
7. Okay, that's good.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's say that's all for inputs. That's all for inputs. So I'll just it will be up to you now to now make extensive research on more different input types. So you can like get on the internet and search for HTML input tags. You can say, oh, please, someone should respond. Okay, I can't hear what you shared. I'm sorry, I did not answer. Okay, no problem, Wisdom. You can't see my screen. I guess that's going to be a fault on your end because can everyone see my screen, please?
Yes.
Yes, sir. I can see it, sir.
Okay, Winifred, please go on.
Sorry, it's a mistake. Oh. Sorry.
Okay, Ayodele.
I literally, I exactly want to ask about these boxes. There are
Okay.
some box, there are some sites that you go on. There are boxes. The edges will be blunt, like it won't have sharp edges.
Oh yeah. So
Are
that's
you getting it?
yes, I understand. We'll talk about that.
Eh.
That's CSS. So we'll talk about that when we get to CSS.
Okay.
So another important part of HTML. So I've talked about the form part now. Another important part of HTML now is table. Solomon, go on.
Please, I want to see that select part again.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so select you have to wrap options inside. So in between the option, now it's a text there.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Is Kofo still on this call? Kofo Rola.
I am. Yes, I am.
Okay. Yeah, so now another part of HTML is table. So I'm sure multiple websites you have seen different types of tables. So let me see if I can get one website to like show you an example of a table. We should talk about the table now. Let's see.
Ma?
Yeah, exactly. So as you can see now, this is a table. I'm sure you'd have seen something like this on multiple websites. So now for you to create something like this now on this channel, you must have a table tag wrapping through everything. So just where we have our form tag, we have a table tag. So you say table. This is the beginning. And now for table, table have two containers. That's two components. One is the table head. So second one is the table body. So now if you look at this particular website now, you can see this part is deeper than this other part. This part is telling you what the table is about. That's the table head. So to create a table head, you have T head. It's called T head or table head. Then the other part, that's the body. You have T body. So basically, that T means the table. So T head means table head. Then the T body means table body. Do you understand?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Are you guys following well?
Yes. So what about this strong in the element strong? What does it mean?
Yeah, we talked about that the last time. Strong is for making things bold. It says
Okay.
inline. So let's say you have a very long text and then you want a particular part of that text to be bold. So use strong.
Okay.
So now, if you look at this now, this is a row. This is one row. This is another row. This is another row. You know rows now. You guys know rows. Rows and then column. You can see this is a column. This is a row. So now, to create a row, you have to say arrow. The arrow means table row. Like if you notice, this is my table head. So that means I'm specifying my table head. So now, say arrow means okay. I want to specify this particular row. That's the description of the table. And now each box like this now in HTML is a data. Each box is a data. So now inside your TR you must have a TD. TD means table data. Now the number of TD you have is going to determine the number of columns you're going to have in the table. Do you understand?
What's TD again?
TD table data. So
Okay.
T8 table head, TR table row, TD table data, T body table body. Do you understand?
Yes.
So now let's now say we want to create a table now for the number of people in this on this call, number of people on this call. So the first one we have I mean number. We will create another TD for full name. Then you create another TD for phone number. Then create another TD for what else can we do? Let's say email address.
Date of death.
Bit of that that's really long. Let's just stop here because I don't want the table to have like a very, very long. So if you go back now, if you go back to your like something like this, you can see they're all on the same line. That's because this is one row. Remember, TR means table row. So this is one row. And then you have the first part, I would say this, and the other part now is full name, phone number, email address. So now let us now start creating different parts. So if you remember, this is the table head, the TH, because this is the description. So now go back to the body. Since we have specified in the head that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, we have 4 data. In the body, you must have the exact 4 data. So everything can be underneath each other. So now if you check this table here, they have this is one row, the name, the contacts, the country, then this is another row. Now to create that, we say our first row now, then the this table is now putting here. Come on, somebody that's for you. What are we putting in this first table data? Anyone? Okay. So now you remember when I said everybody is specified by what is in the head. So now this first one is the same as this one, like they are both connected. So that means for this our first TD, what are we putting here now? The number. So this is
That
1.
number.
The second TD now, what are we putting here now?
Name.
Full name.
Whose name are we going to use? So now phone number. And email address. email address, you can have it like go back now and then check what you have been doing since you have something like this. You see, the number one now is under the and then the full name, the phone number is under the phone number, the email is under the email. So now let's now create another TR as another table row. And this TD is for what now?
Table head.
The TD.
Table data, sorry.
What are we putting there?
Data.
Yeah, what are we
Maybe
putting
like
there?
second data, I guess. Maybe number 2.
Number two, then the person's name and
Then
the rest.
TD, yeah. And you have another TD for the phone number. And then the last TP. And I'm going to okay, you see now we have number 2, name, phone number, email address. So if I continue adding more TR, once I continue adding more rows here, they'll start appearing underneath that. Do you guys understand? So yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
of everything in HTML, table is like that's the easiest for people to understand. It's just straightforward. First thing, you create a table, then you have a table head, you have a table body, then in your table head you have a row. Inside the row you now have a TH. Oh, there's a mistake here. Sorry. Inside this table we're supposed to have like a TH. That's why it was not good. Sorry. Change this to a TH. So whenever there's a data in the table head, that row must have a TH. So like have the TH to like distinguish this particular one as the top. I think if I go back now, yes, exactly. You can see now that this is bold.
Right.
Because TH means, okay, this is the row in the head. That's the data of the row in the head. Then you can now use TD for the data. Okay, Kofo, please go on.
Okay, because I'm confused. I don't really understand this table thing. First of all, what did you say the you kept something now, TH. What did you say the TH is?
TH is also under, it means table head. TH is table head. But now, before we have been using table data. Inside our TR, we have the TD meaning table data. But now for the head of every table, let's say inside this head tag, what it puts here is not TD. Because like I said, TD means table data. The head is not the data. The head is more like a description. So it has to be different from the data. So it is TH, not TD. So there is table head, T head, and then there's TH, meaning table head also. But now this short TH is like the data for the row in the head. While this TD is for the data in the row in the body. You understand now, Kofo?
Yes, I do.
So now let's say now we add another now to like let's say set. And then if you go back, see, this particular part is empty. That's because we have not specified the data for this particular head. So now I'm not adding, I have to go back now and add TP. So if you go back now, you now see that underneath that we already have data for it. Do you guys understand?
Yes.
1, 2, 3. More please.
Yes.
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 Okay, Kofo, please go on.
Okay, I think someone is raising up their hand before me. I think Aisha. So she should probably ask a
I
question for me.
okay. Oh yeah, that's true. I shot. Please go on. Because you
So
are
please, how do you
there's no
create drop down of a data?
drop down of the data.
Yeah.
So can you like explain about
Like I was actually given a task to create an HTML table and to make the country a drop down. Like we can choose or something like that. Sha. That was how the person explained.
that? Okay,
Like I don't really understand.
in the table, it is not possible to have the drop down. You can have that particular drop down, but then that means it's an input tag. Remember I said select. Remember I said select. So select is the only way you have like a drop down. Aside this, there are other ways of having drop down, but then you have to use JavaScript to do that. But then by default, there's no way to have like a drop down. Except if you want to add something, let's say now with this table data or something, let's now change it. Inside the TG, we now have like select. And inside the select, we now have like option. Inside this select, we now have like option. Inside the option now something. Yeah. Yeah. And this is you can have like a drop down. But now this is not every TG. So I click under the
Yeah.
page, but in the column of the email to centralize. Why is it like that? Okay. So in the column of the let me answer one question. So in the column of this email, the reason why it's like this is because of the length of the data that's underneath it. Length of this data is like longer than normal, especially the last one. It's pushing it. Another thing now is by default, the particular size that each table column is going to have in this HTML. So that's why I say like this one is looking as if it's centered. It is not centered. In fact, instead it's looking as if it's centered, phone number, full name, everything just because there's just something pushing it out. So to make all these things centered and them aligned, you have to start using CSS. And I'm sure I'm going to talk about that in our next class. Our next class will be solely on CSS. Okay, Kofo, please go on. Sorry, before you answer, Kofo, Aisha, have I answered the question? Aisha,
Yes, sir. You've answered. Thank you.
yeah, but then it is not right to have a select in a table because select belongs
Okay,
to select belongs to a form, not a table. Yes.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Kofo, please go on.
Okay, my question is, can you go back to the web page? Okay. So now I just wanted to ask that what if you wanted to like use lines to like separate it? Does that have to do with CSS? Like the essay and then there's this slant line, like showing that it is a box kind of thing.
Yes,
You
yes,
get my
that's
question?
CSS. You have to start adding borders. That's CSS. You have to start adding border to the row or border to the data. Yeah, that's CSS.
Okay.
Any other question? Any other question?
No.
Okay. Yeah, so like I said, this class is going to end. I just want to be 1 hour 13 minutes, and then I think I have exactly 1 hour 13 minutes on board. So now your assignment, and then okay. So for your assignment, you'll be creating a tribute page. Your tribute means, let's say, respect to someone. Either the person is living or the person is dead. It's just like tribute page can have a little short history about whoever you're writing about. Let's say, okay, you like Nelson Mandela, you can write like a tribute page to Nelson Mandela. And you write things like, okay, Nelson Mandela did this, Nelson Mandela did that, it was this, it was that. So you're going to have to do that. Note, if you are submitting your tribute page, and they submit a tribute page with CSS, that is -3. So with all the bosses that are here, if I see just one line of CSS in your tribute page, that is -3. And so the assignment is going to be over 10. By next week, yeah, the dashboard, I say dashboard, yeah, the ranking should be out. I think I'm going to use like a spreadsheet to like show the ranking. So people that Thanos is going to like visit, they can know themselves before I like kick them out and all. So yeah, going to have a tribute page. Okay, Kofo, please go on.
So I said in the group chat that I can't remember the name I used for the last class. So apparently I used my full name for the last class. But I kept another name in the form. So I wanted to ask, can I refill the form and put the actual name I used for the last class so you don't remove me?
The last class, I think I can see you here. So you show me you go for Roller. That's the name.
Yes, but
Is it different from this name now?
No, it's not different from the one I'm using. I'm still using the same one. But I'm saying the form I filled, I kept Toyosi there. Because I was thinking I used Toyosi.
No problem. I know you now, Kofo, now, my organ now.
No, please, thank you.
So no problem at all. Okay, Moyo, please go on. Moyo.
The tribute we are meant to make, can we put a picture in it?
Picture. Okay, let me just talk about adding images real quick. Pictures. Yeah, so adding image in HTML is, so that's it. Just somehow straightforward though. Everybody go back to your folder. Let's see, you can go to your pictures folder and then copy, let's say, one picture. Then go back to the particular folder that you created. If you are using week 1, week 2, and then you put the image there. So like me, I'm using week 2. So I'm adding this image to week 2. So you just copy and paste. Okay, please go on. Let me hear your question, please.
I don't understand.
Okay, so you copy a picture from anywhere in your laptop and drop it in your folder. Remember we created a folder last week?
Yes.
Exactly. So now you just copy a picture and then drop it in the folder.
Okay.
Afolake, please let me hear you. Your hands is up. Afolake, please go on. Oh, that's a lot of hands. Moyo, what's up? Are you still talking? Okay, thank you. Yeah. Shubomi, please go on.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just joining the class. You mentioned folder files. I'm confused. Like, can I get them?
There's a recording for the last class. The recording is going to be yes, Kofo, I won't forget. I'll drop that on the group chat. Yeah, so there's a recording of the last class, and then that recording is going to be on YouTube very soon. Let's say by God's grace before the end of this week. So if Thanos has not visited you yet, then you can like.
So Thanos is visiting soon.
Very, very soon. Very, very soon. I think
I'm very serious. So
one of my bosses already talked to me about the requirement for asking Thanos to snap people. So I think I'll change the requirement a bit. So I'll let you guys know the new requirements on the group chat. Yeah. So
okay, boss.
So sorry. What after selecting the picture? What will be the next thing?
You select the picture, then you copy.
Then
so from let's say my picture now, I'm selecting a picture, then Control C to copy. And you your folder. My own folder is underneath. Yes, my own folder is underneath music, then with two. Control V.
Okay. Is that all?
Yeah, that's all. Afolake.
Okay.
Afolake, please go on. You are muted, Afolake. Can you mute yourself and talk? Solomon.
Please, can you say that the assignment again?
The assignment. Yeah, I'll go back to the assignment. I just want to explain this.
Okay.
I want to ask a question.
Okay. Am I the only one that can't hear her, please?
I can't hear also.
Okay, because I can't hear her at all. I don't know if there's something wrong with your mic. Who wants to ask a question? Let me look at the queue. Okay, Winifred,
Is it compulsory we add a picture to it?
to the file. I want to teach you guys how to import an image to your HTML so that your tribute page can have an image.
Okay.
Okay, Tola Michael, please go on. Please recap from the table data. Oh, that's a bit far. I'll see if I can do that after the class. Like after explaining this particular image. Moyomi, you have something to say?
Can we get like a rules and regulation, like a list in the group that make us know what we are doing wrong to get Thanos out of the empowerment program?
Yeah, of course. I said I was going to do that. I'll do that. I'll state that clearly. I feel like
Okay,
I
thank you.
still can't hear you, so please recap on the my phone. Thank you, sir. Oh, is this Afolake? Oh, I'll see what I can do there. Who else? Kasim, Ghana. Yeah, please, let me hear you.
Oh, you said we're going to be creating a tribute page for the assignment. Can we get a sample of what you expect us to do? Not
Of course I will.
necessarily just probably a picture of the tribute page, how you like it to look like. Or you can just go ahead and do whatever is in our mind.
Of course, just do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. I'm going to give you requirements for everything.
Okay.
I will try and look into the voice later. Okay. Yeah. So, okay, Kofo, please go on.
So, I just wanted to ask, when we are writing the triple page, are we actually going to write oh, if the person was this or this, or we just use that lorem something?
Can we actually write the biography of the?
I'm thinking about that. So yes, you'll be writing a biography because after this, I'm going to teach you guys how to tag. It doesn't have to be long. I'm not expecting something very, very lengthy. Just give me something like 6 lines. That's fine.
Probably when you tell us what you expect, then we'll get an idea.
Exactly. By that time, exactly. So now for your image, please let me have a default. And I say img. Oh, Moyo, please go on.
Okay, so the assignments, after you are giving us an assignment on the group, can you write it down on the WhatsApp group as well?
I will do everything.
Okay.
Yeah. So who is Lade, please? Is Lade here? Who is Lade, please? Lade. There's this Lade on the group chat. Okay. The person is not here. Now, if you notice on my VS Code now, that image is already there in the folder, it's already showing there. People that have done that, can you see that, please?
Yes. I
Okay.
can see.
So now to locate the image now, since they are all in the same folder, just a dot slash. Select the dp.png. So if I go back to my HTML file, you can see, forget the ugly boy at the top, but you can see that the image is there in front. And simply be able to do this. Okay. Taiwo, Kofo, Solomon, America. Okay. Now, you have to locate where the image is at. So if they are both in the same folder, you use dot slash. If it's in a folder that is, let's say, before the folder, you can use dot slash. If it's when I type dot slash, oh, these are like things that are in my music folder. But now, since they are in the same folder, that's my recon folder, I say dot slash. The dot slash is going to bring out options. Some people now, it's not going to bring out options. Some people it's going to bring out options. But if it doesn't bring out option, you just a dot slash. You type the name of the file, dot png. Oh, please go on.
Okay, so my question is, you said something about the dot part, so I didn't get that side
Okay, yeah.
at all.
So now, for you to locate files in HTML, you have to like locate them inside different folders. Because as your files start getting bigger, as start writing bigger codes, you have to start structuring everything inside different folders. So now, dot slash, that's full stop and the slash means what you're looking for is inside the same folder. Then dot slash means what you're looking for is in the folder before. The folder before means outside your normal folder, there's another folder there. But then if what you're looking for is inside the folder deeper, that we have to like dot slash then dot slash something like this. Okay, till you get the dot slash, the folder is going to be here. Then let's say your folder is hey then slash cp.png. This is if what you're looking for is in the folder inside. But if it's in the folder outside, you use dot slash to locate outside. You get so 2 dots for outside, 1 dot for inside, then one dot slash name of the folder to go deeper. You understand?
I'm not sure I understand. Are you trying
Okay.
to say in layman language that we can see your file, like this old file that you created for this? Okay.
I'm creating a new file now. You can see now. This is my music folder.
Yeah.
I have all these images here. But now my week 1 is inside my music folder. My week 2, sorry, is inside my music folder. So now for this code now, let's not say I want to locate an image. Let's say I want to locate this particular image now. You know it's not inside my week 2 folder, but it's inside my music folder. To locate that, I say dot slash. Let's say the first Facebook. So if I check now, then refresh, I should have it's very tiny. Then it's here. That's me going outside. So now let's now say I now want to get. See, now I already have another folder here. Let's now say
Okay,
the image I want to get.
it comes to your
Yes,
how do I
yes,
say
yes, could give the options.
You
But
know,
then-
it was not in the it was not in. Sorry, I'm confused.
Yes, okay, yeah, I understand what I want to say. I understand what I want to say, Kufu. So now,
Okay.
this over here, your VS Code is basically accessing the folder that you have on your file explorer. So whatever change here gets updated immediately on your VS Code. So if on my VS Code now, I create a new folder, hi, you know this new folder is here on my VS Code, hi. If I go to my file explorer, hi, already.
Okay.
So they both work hand in hand. So now let's now say there is, let me copy this picture inside my hi folder. Now, I want to locate the picture that's inside my eye. You can see that by default, the picture is already inside the hi folder. So now to do that, I will now say dot slash, I'm calling everything that's inside the and I say slash hi slash, then the picture that's inside the hi folder.
Yeah.
You get?
Yes. So does this apply for any picture? It does not have to be PNG.
Yes, any picture. Let me I think I should have JPEG. This is PNG. Just looking for JPEG would be quite hard. PNG, PNG, PNG. Okay, I'll just JPEG. Now let's say I want another image now, IMG. Then inside my source, I want the at with dot slash at dot JPEG. Now you can see. You see that both of them are different. Can anybody tell me why?
Yeah. Sorry, what was your question?
My two images they are showing side by side.
Because of the
As
break is not there.
not break,
Break. Okay.
It is that that's
not break.
inline. I mean, I don't think they are
Yes, that's inline. That's
inline
because I did
element.
not add a block. Yes, I did not add a block.
Okay, yes.
Okay.
So div is a block block
Yeah, a
element.
block element. So now
Okay. But you can
the next
also
part.
use build
Break.
to
Yes, you can also use
break.
break. But now good convention is use BR. I use BR now. Still the same thing. But good convention. Convention means using like the right code. Now that's one I now have to like use. So I see we have two images now. After there's another way of adding image. You see this source file here. You can add a link. Let's say, let me go to this particular file now. Okay. And let's say I want to add this image now. So if I just say copy image address, then go back here and then instead of having this, I cannot paste email address. So it's like that's HTTPS. That's but a link from the internet. And then if I go back to my way, you see I have this image there. But then if you're using something like this, you need to have active internet connection because now your web now is running the resources from the internet. Do you understand?
Yes.
So now with this same thing now, I forgot to talk about one particular very important, if not the most important inline tag, the A tag. A means anchor. So anchor tag means you are linking your button, you're linking something to the page that is either your outside your page or inside your page. It works just like this image. It also has a source, something like the source. Well, now this one is href. So let's say let me read another. Then I say A. And you come to the href. Href means okay, where is your link going to? So let me say I want to put something like HTTPS yeah. www. Okay. So now in this your anchor tag, you can wrap anything except your form, except your table. But then you can wrap your table data, that's your TG. You can wrap your TR, but you can't wrap your whole form as a whole. Not that it won't work, it will work, but it's not good practice. You get so now again, I now want to wrap the button. Let me say so now if I the button now, if I click on this button, takes me to Google. Let me go back to my page. And then if I over, you can see at the bottom over here, like over here, you can see showing HTTPS www.google.com. That's because I wrapped the button inside the anchor tag. The anchor tag is leading to the Google. So now let's now say I create another file. Let me say about.html. and then my normal job by the body, the then H1 that says about page. I can have, let me play another thing here, and then my normal anchor tag. So instead of going to go, I can say dot slash about the HTML. Then my button, and I'm saying about this. If you go back, you see this about us. If you click on it, it goes to a new HTML file saying about page. So the anchor tag can either link you to another HTML file, or it can link you to another file on the internet. So now if you remember this vacation poster that we were looking at before, once you click on this about, once you click on about, it goes to the about us page, then services page, click on this apartment page. So this is more like navigation, that's what they call it in HTML, navigation. So now you're navigating from one page to another page. Yeah, wisdom. I guess I have those. Before this class is meant to be 2 hours, so I still have up to like 4, and I'll be closing up very soon. So do you guys understand how the anchor tag works now? Yeah.
Yes.
Please, I just have a question, a quick one. The
Okay.
anchor tag, does it have to be linked to it? Does it have to be linked to a button, or you can just leave it like that without adding any extra things?
Okay, so the anchor tag must have something to click on, an element. If I remove this button now, I take those anchor tag like that. If I go back, and then refresh this. You see, it won't show at all because your anchor tag must be linked to something, either a button, a P tag, H1 tag, anything you want. But there must be something inside the anchor tag. So instead of
Okay, you said a big tag. Can you just put
P tag,
about
yes.
and not a button?
Let's see. Let's put the P tag now and then say if I go back, there's a P tag now. I think I click on the P tag. Go straight to people. You get now. So your anchor tag works for this thing. You can wrap anything inside your anchor tag. So it's even a div, a whole div. So let's wrap a whole div inside. So instead of people, let's move Google and then put the div. And inside the div, let's say we have H1 I, and we have like H2. That's it. Hey. If you go back, you see hi, you see hey. But then if you click on even the center, it will take you to Google. Because you know H1 and H2, these two like this, they're inside one div, and then that div is wrapped inside the anchor tag. So if you click on any one of them, click on the first and click on the second one, or even click on this side, because now I told it is a block element. So by default, that means this div extends to the end of this page. If this is in a div, the div extends to the end. So the div takes like the width of the whole page. So that means if I click on this place, it takes me to Google. Because that whole block element, that whole div is wrapped with the anchor tag. Does that answer your question, Coco?
Yes, thank you.
Afolake.
Good evening. Please, can you hear me now?
Finally, yes, I can.
Oh, glory. I want to ask about the TD, that's table data, the T row. What's the difference between? It talked about the T head and the T body. That's table head and table body.
Yes.
Yeah. So I want to ask that what's the difference between the TD for the T head and the TD for the T body?
Okay, so if you check, I changed it. They basically work the same way. There's basically no much difference. But now I changed the one in the head from TD to TH. Okay, go on. Okay.
Okay. So the TD for TN, you change it to TH.
TH,
It does
yes.
not have any preference.
It does not really have any important, just that the only thing is it differentiates this particular part from this part. Because if you look at the response now, everything in the TH, they are bold.
Okay.
So you can know that, okay, this is the head, and then this is like the body.
Okay. And also, please, okay, thank you, sir. Please, the assignments, can you please recap? I didn't get it, sir.
I've not even started the assignment at all. I'm about to start the assignment now.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so now, so someone asked how I was submitting the assignments. That is a very nice question. And then where you'll be submitting it to, I'm going to let you guys know by the end of today. Because I'm trying to like set up the community for Frontend. So I'll like set it up, see if I can set it up today, test it and see if it's possible for it to receive assignment submission. If not, then well, maybe going to have a short in another class, maybe like a 30 minutes class. We're going to teach you guys how to use GitHub. So nobody should ask me what is GitHub yet, because I was planning to like teach you guys like by the end of today. But I have to check if community is going to be up and running. If not, then I'm going to teach you guys GitHub. Yeah. So for the assignment, yeah. So now, it's the key again. Okay. You guys can see that, right?
Sorry, what you're typing is not really clear. I can't see very well.
Okay, no, well, let's just do it like this. I'll type it out in form of PDF and then send it to the group chat. I think that works better.
Yes.
Yes.
But then, yeah, but then just note that the tribute page is going to contain everything that I have taught you guys. Like everything from last week to this week. You're going to have to like, put your knowledge of everything to use. Then once you guys understand that, we can now up on CSS. Okay, now, so thank you guys for joining today. Oh, see you guys next. Is it next week? No, this week. Sorry? Who said something?
I said thank you. That was interesting. Like,
The class was
interesting.
oh,
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, welcome, boss. Just try my best to like.
I be boss, so I beg.
I'm just starting. I just learned last week.
Sorry, but I thought you were
Thank
like
you.
into this for like 1 year.
Did I say that?
It's
Maybe
like,
that was Miss
you know, he has been done with this thing.
That was Miss Yan. I started learning. We all learn as a.
No, be so. He has been learning for 1 decade. That 1 week is 1 decade.
It's a lie. It's a
1
lie.
decade.
How we learn for?
No decade, no decade. Okay, so basically, I have
creating magic. Just a week.
okay. Basically, I have just around 5 years. Sure. I don't just that's
5 years. Hey,
Senior
God
front-end
well.
developer.
Lol. See you guys today.
5 years when they do study course for university.
How big?
In the assignments, please kindly include it in the PDF when you are submitting the assignment. When the date. Thank you.
The date of submission for the assignment is going to be before our next class. That's going to be before Saturday. Because by Saturday like this, By Saturday, I would have gone through the assignment. I'd have arranged some kind nice comments for everybody. So I start dishing your comment according to your assignment. Because I'm going to criticize every assignment openly in front of everybody here. So that by next time, so that by the next class or the next assignment you get, you can like work harder. Because after that next assignment too, I'll still come here again and then I'm going to shatter your assignment in front of everybody. So everybody's going to have either a good or a bad comment. I'll drop everything here. So the next class again, you get better.
Please be nice
And let's
with your
say,
com-
sorry?
I say be nice with
Some people are very
polish your
sensitive though.
yeah. So like me now,
That's the thing.
I'll be scared to talk next time because
Ha.
they're like
Some people are very
If,
sensitive. They
yeah,
might
the
get
thing now is, I'd say,
discouraged.
We that we like violence
discouraged.
like this.
They might get
I'm not a fan of peace. Peace is not an
they might
option.
get discouraged.
Peace,
Yes, violence. We are comrades.
polish your like you can polish you can see
Please
the
mark
paper first
mark it,
then you now blast off
access
at the
it
end.
privately, please.
No, you can share
No.
the comments in front of everybody so we can learn from each other's mistake. I'm just saying that you can polish the
It's not that it's not that we should just
You can make the
tell us our
person
mistakes.
anonymous.
you
You
can
can make the
show it.
person anonymous.
Everybody, everybody can see that okay, this is what we did, this is what we did wrong. It shouldn't need to just make us understand each other's mistake. I'm just saying that it should not you should polish the bad part of the insult now. You should polish it, that kind of thing.
okay, so
Was
okay, so what
if it
what
was like making it anonymous, the owner of the code will know that I am the owner. I am the one they are criticizing, but others
See,
don't know
just
Yeah,
before
that's
they get
do
discouraged.
it anonymously, please.
I think
yeah.
okay, you know what? Why don't you do it like this? When you're submitting your assignments, you're going to add let's say a nickname at the bottom of the assignment. I'm going to use that nickname to drag you. Fine. But then another thing is I don't insult too. I don't know how to do that. Because while I was learning, so I had a very, let's say I joined the community and then they were very harsh there. So that was what made me this good too. Because for every harsh comment I received, I always wanted to prove them that I was better than that. And then it turned me to a nerd too, but that one is by the way. So I am going to like drop a comment. I always start with the sweet comments. Normal. And then when I am correcting you and talking about the bad parts, you won't know that it's the bad parts because I'm going to talk about it very nice. But I will surely talk about the bad parts. And then don't forget about adding your nickname at the end.
constructive criticism.
Exactly.
Very good.
Very constructive. So Kofo, is that good with you?
So
Yes, thank you.
we'll let you know about our nickname and we will send it to you privately.
No, you don't need to send it to me privately.
No,
Just
as in for you to at least track our identity.
of course, when you're submitting your assignment, there are going to be parameters to submitting it. You can add your, I mean, ask for your full name and everything.
Okay.
You can use that to track it down.
Okay.
So, any other question? Because I have another meeting by 4:20. So I have to
Wait,
prepare.
who
The
is
assignment.
giving out
Please,
nickname?
can we get
It's your no, you just your own nickname. You can add fresh boy, hot cake, best boy. Just add it, and then I'll not be like, okay, this is
how
all
are we submitting the
assignments.
assignments? Sorry.
I told you I'll let you know when I'm giving you
Okay.
assignments. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
That one. Don't call me sir, please. I don't have BBA. When I have BBA, I'll start accepting sir.
I can send the PDF before the end of today.
Okay, so
Please
I
do.
don't know about you guys,
What
but to me, I understand. But to me, though, I don't have. Let's say I don't have a whole day. Moyo should be familiar with that. I can be awake until 6 a.m., 7 a.m. So to me, I can't really say today because to me, my own today now can end by 11 a.m. tomorrow. But then I'll send it. Yeah, I'll send it, no problem.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other?
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Any other comments? Any other suggestion? Anyone? Okay, let's drop this. You guys can follow that link to learn more about HTML. broaden your knowledge. There are like a lot of many other things you need to learn there. Especially this part I should not talk about, the list part. So you can like go there. Okay, Moyo, please go on. Moyo.
Sorry, it was a mistake. It was a mistake.
So you guys can just go there. You guys can just go there and then.
I just hear say $1 be said and something. Now what?
I'm only God can save us. Okay, so thank you guys for joining this class. I really appreciate it. Makes me feel loved to join the class. So see you guys by Saturday. Yeah. See you guys by Saturday. Solomon, my class has ended, boss. No vex.
Sorry to disturb. Are we
sharp.
adding any color to the assignment?
I told you if I see anything like color, if I see color in the assignment, -3.
Okay.
It is -3. In fact, if I see inline CSS, -3. If I now want to see external style of CSS sheet, I'll just minus all the marks. Boom. 0. Straight up. More you hope you have it, sharp.
Yes, thank you.
Man, I know they do pass myself. Wait till I do.
And then where's my Oga Precious? Precious is not online. I'm so happy about that. Okay, now, later box. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you for coming to my YouTube channel. It says baby developer. Lol. That's funny. Okay, bye-bye. See you guys on Saturday.